Open-world games have been among the most popular genres for years. Massive maps, hundreds of quests, and exploration experiences that last for dozens of hours have become the standard. However, some games go beyond simply being large. They never truly end. The main story may be completed and the map fully explored, but thanks to their systems, sandbox freedom, and the level of control given to the player, the experience continues. Even after the credits roll, there is always something left to do. Here are 10 open-world games that technically have an ending, yet in practice never truly come to an end. Valheim offers an open-world experience that gradually acclimates players to its rhythm through its harsh nature and unforgiving progression system. Thanks to its procedurally generated map, every new start becomes a different journey of discovery. Misty forests, dangerous swamps, and majestic mountains constantly present new risks. While defeating bosses provides a clear objective, the game's true strength lies in its building freedom and survival challenge. What begins as a simple wooden hut can evolve into the construction of massive castles and complex defensive structures. The active modding community further expands the experience continuously. Even though Valheim has a structure that can be completed, its sandbox systems make it one of those games you'll want to start over again and again. No Man's Sky, while initially appearing as an exploration and resource-gathering game, has evolved over the years into a massive space sandbox. Billions of procedurally generated planets present a universe that, theoretically, can never be fully explored. However, it's not just the scale that makes the game endless. Continuous free updates, new systems, vehicles, base-building options, and multiplayer content constantly expand the experience. The main story can be completed. The center of the galaxy can be reached. But the real content lies in establishing your own colony, growing your fleet, and continuing to live in the universe. No Man's Sky is one of the strongest examples of an open-world concept with a finish line, but one that doesn't care about that finish line. Fallout 4, while having a complete main story, offers a compelling open-world experience that stays put for a long time thanks to its systems. The ruined Commonwealth provides a vast playable area filled with exploration and side quests. However, what truly prolongs the game is the settlement building and management mechanics. Colonies, meticulously constructed from power lines to defensive towers, constantly encourage the player to build more efficient and secure settlements. The Radiant quest system continues to generate new objectives even after content is completed. Strong modding support offers content that can radically change the experience. Fallout 4 creates an open-world structure that can keep you engaged even after the end credits. Project Zomboid feels less like a classic zombie survival game and more like an endless disaster simulation. The Knox County map is entirely handcrafted and massive. Even getting from one point to another requires serious planning. The most striking aspect of the game is its persistent death system. The death of a character isn't the end of everything. You can continue in the same world with a new character and find your old character turned into a zombie. Detailed systems like hunger, infection, fatigue, and morale make long-term survival challenging. Moreover, a strong modding community constantly expands the experience. Project Zomboid offers an open-world loop that tests how long you can last and restarts each time, rather than a game to be won. Seven Days to Die combines open-world exploration with base building and survival systems, offering a long-lasting experience. Its expansive map, handcrafted points of interest, and structures to explore constantly present the player with new risks. However, what truly makes the game enduring is the zombie hordes that arrive on the seventh day. This periodic threat necessitates continuous improvement of defense systems and optimization of base design. The combination of building freedom, resource management, and multiplayer support creates a structure that's hard to abandon. Furthermore, mod support constantly expands the content. Rather than a story to be completed, 7 Days to Die offers an unending open-world cycle built on resilience and strategy. Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord offers a massive sandbox where you can forge your own destiny rather than a fixed storyline. While the map of Calradia may be static, political balances, wars, and alliances evolve differently with each playthrough. A journey that begins with a small group of mercenaries can eventually lead to establishing your own kingdom. Diplomacy, trade, siege warfare, and character development are all intertwined. There's no definitive end point in the game. The balance of power constantly shifts, and new objectives always emerge. Furthermore, strong modding support allows you to take the experience to completely different eras and scenarios. Bannerlord feels less like a game to be won and more like a medieval simulation to be lived in. At first glance, the Planet Crafter appears to be a classic survival and crafting experience, but over time it evolves into something much greater. The goal is to gradually transform a barren, atmosphereless planet into a habitable world. As systems such as oxygen production, heat increase, and biosphere development progress, the world physically changes. Caves open up, lakes form, and the desolate landscape slowly begins to turn green. Technically, there is an endpoint to progression, but expanding production chains and further transforming the planet is entirely up to you. As base building and resource optimization deepen, the game shifts from being a mission to complete into a long-term terraforming project. For those who enjoy building patiently and methodically, the Planet Crafter offers an open-world experience that is hard to put down. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom combines classic open-world exploration with system-driven creativity, offering players extraordinary freedom. The Hyrule map may be familiar, but the scale is dramatically expanded with sky islands and underground regions. The game's true lasting appeal lies in its Ultra Hand mechanic. Combining objects to design tools, machines, and defense systems is central not only to solving quests, but also to creativity. While the main story is complete, experiments, construction projects, and unexplored areas keep the game constantly alive. Even with a definite ending, Tears of the Kingdom becomes a compelling open-world experience that lingers for a long time thanks to its systems. Kenshi feels less like a traditional open-world adventure and more like a brutal sandbox simulation where anything can happen. You begin as a weak, insignificant character in a harsh, unforgiving world where survival itself is a challenge. There is no scripted path pushing you forward. Instead, the world moves on with or without you. You can trade, become a mercenary, build your own settlement, or try to rise as a faction leader, but nothing guarantees success. Losing a fight or suffering permanent injuries doesn't end your journey, it simply reshapes it. The dynamic systems constantly create unpredictable outcomes, making every playthrough unique. Kenshi isn't about reaching an ending, it's about surviving long enough to create your own story within its chaotic world. Satisfactory is a systems-driven experience that transforms the open world into a giant production machine. Starting with simple mining on an alien planet, the process quickly evolves into miles of conveyor belts and complex automation chains. While there's a technical limit to progression, the real game begins once all technologies are unlocked. The desire to increase efficiency, the obsession with eliminating bottlenecks, and the yearning to perfect production lines create new goals. The first-person perspective creates a truly immersive experience within the massive facilities being built. Satisfactory is one of those rare open-world games that compels you to return even after the finish line, driven by the urge to optimize.